Rarijack, Reason to Shine, by Trash Can Full of Donuts. Chapter 1. Ah, the school assembly. I woke up to see my sister Applebloom's smiling face. I rubbed my eyes and groaned. "What do you want, Applebloom?"
"Guess what time it is?"
she said excitedly. Nap time?" I smiled. Applebloom didn't find it as funny. I chuckled and sat up. "Fine. What?"
"It's time for school. First day, remember? Get up, kid."
She laughed and tossed my straw hat onto my chest. "You're literally 3 years younger than me, kid," I shot back. Applebloom stuck her tongue out and ran downstairs. I followed after her, after getting dressed and brushing my hair. I walked into the living room to find my brother and sister both fully dressed watching Shrek. As I headed towards the kitchen, I heard my sister scream,
"Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me."
I laughed and started to prepare toast for my breakfast. About 30 minutes later, I heard the deep voice of my brother. "Come on, you two. I'm driving you to school." "Coming, Big Mac," I shouted. His real name was Big Macintosh, but we all used his nickname. We hopped in the car and headed to school, first dropping off Applebloom at Ponyville Middle, where she's an 8th grader. Then Big Mac and I headed to Canterlot High, our local high school. Mac is a senior, and I'm a sophomore. He parked in the student lot and then killed the engine. We both ducked out of the car and went our separate ways after a quick goodbye. The heavily decorated door to my science classroom felt cool to the touch. It was a reassuring feeling. I turned the handle and pushed open the door, being greeted with the smiling face of my 5 best friends. We were all stupid lucky to get the same homeroom, even if we don't go to it much. Today was different, though. The school was holding some kind of welcome back pep rally for its returning students. The Enjoy Your New School pep rally for the freshmen would be later that day. So we were all supposed to come to homeroom first thing in the morning.
"Hey, AJ!"
beamed Pinkie Pie, my bubbly pink-haired friend.
"How was your summer?"
I chuckled. "Pinkie, you know exactly how my summer was. I spent most of it with you guys." She smiled, blushed, and started playing with her hair.
"Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry, it's Monday and I'm still tired." "That's okay, Pinkie. It happens."
Twilight comforted her. Twilight Sparkle was my introverted bookworm friend, who never ceased to amaze people with her extensive knowledge. "Class, as you know, today the school is hosting a pep rally to welcome its students back for another year. That is set to happen in approximately 30 minutes. Until then, we've been asked to go over the school rules and pep rally procedures. With that being said, please turn your attention to the screen at the front of the class," our teacher told us, earning a collective groan. She laughed. "I don't want to do it either. It's just as boring for me as it is for you. Unfortunately, I have a job to do, so please pay attention and make this day easier on all of us." I liked this teacher. I think I have her for science, too. I'll have to check my schedule later. Things went smoothly, and about halfway through the presentation, the bell rung. Our teacher turned off the screen and wrote her name on the board for the next classes, Miss Shine. "Okay, class," she spoke. "Make a single file line at the door and be quiet in the hallways as we make our way to the gymnasium for the rally." My friends and I hopped in line right by each other's sides so that we could all sit together. We entered the gym and took a seat. The principal had some pop song playing over the speakers while they got ready. I've always been more of a classical girl myself, but I can enjoy a good pop song every now and then. I snagged a spot in line next to Applejack. I love the girls, but AJ is easily my best friend out of all of them. Even if we do argue more than most, we're very different, and we don't always see eye to eye. But I wouldn't trade being her best friend for anything. Well, that's not entirely true. I wouldn't mind giving up my best friend status. That is to say, I'd gladly stop being AJ's best friend, as long as I get to be her girlfriend instead. Chapter 2. Lunchtime, baby. I snagged a seat and chatted with Applejack while we waited for things to get started. "So, what did you do over the summer?" I asked. That was a stupid question. We spent half the summer together. "Well, I did some work around Sweet Apple Acres. Other than that, I spent most of my time with you. But you already knew about that part, huh, Sugar Cube?" She laughed. I laughed as well, albeit a little awkwardly. I scrambled to think of something else to say. Why am I such a mess? I thought to myself. "Hey," I exclaimed, trying to keep the conversation going. I just realized that you and I are the only single people in our little circle of friends. AJ smiled. Huh, I never thought about that. Kinda hard to believe. I mean, I'm single because I have no interest in boys. You, though, you practically have guys throwing themselves at you. You could quite literally own half the football team if you wanted. I frowned. Yes, having guys do that would be great. Too bad I'm not interested in guys. I heard Applejack gasp. Wait, you're gay? Why is this the first I'm hearing of this? Does anyone else know? No. The words came out sharp and staccato, much colder than I intended. I was going to tell everyone later. I was the last straight girl in our group, so I guess we're officially the gay squad of school. Weird. Oh, well, I'm glad you're open about it. And if it turns out you aren't gay after all, we'll all still accept you. She wrapped her arms around me. The smell of apples filled my nostrils. It was absolutely dazzling. We broke the hug and set for the rally. The pep rally was nothing amazing, but it got me out of class. I call that a win. The rally ended just before lunch. I grabbed my lunchbox, I hate cafeteria food, and headed for the cafeteria. Everyone except Pinkie Pie went ahead. Pinkie Pie was with me getting her lunch. As we were walking down the hallway, I noticed that we were alone. I grabbed her by the arm, and she stopped. Pinkie Pie, can I tell you something?
Yapperoonie, what you want to say?
She beamed. I sighed. I need you to keep a secret. Don't tell anyone.
Okie dokie, Loki. I won't tell anyone at all, not even Miss Twilight,
she promised excitedly, reciting her famous Pinkie Promise mantra. Okay, I huffed. Pinkie, I need your help. I have a crush on Rarity, and I really don't know how to tell her. And what if she doesn't like me back? You and Twilight have been dating for a while. How did you tell her?
Dude, just tell her. She so likes you, girl. Just ask her out. I know it's hard and you're nervous, but I swear to you she's just as into you. I have it on good authority.
She smiled.
Now, let's go eat.
I grinned, hoping that Pinkie Pie was right. I decided then that I would tell her, maybe over the weekend. Chapter 3. Truth or Dare.
Yo, Twilight, want to invite the girls over? I asked Twilight. She had visited me to spend some time because she didn't get to see me over the summer. Twilight Sparkle was my girlfriend, and I love her more than I love parties. And that's saying something. She wiggled her legs to kick off her boots, then repositioned herself on the couch. Sure, Pinkie, whatever you want to do, she replied, swinging her legs over the cushions. I wanted to confide in Twilight what Applejack had told me yesterday, but I promised to keep it secret, so I stayed quiet. Okay, I'll text them. I had sent a text to all the girls but AJ and Rarity, and they were the only two left. Yo, Jackie, you don't happen to have Rarity with you, do you?
Yeah, I'm helping her with science. Why?
Perfect. You two want to come over when you're done studying?
Hold on, we'll ask.
Okay,
yeah, we'll be over in about 30 minutes, alright?
Okie dokie, Loki. See you soon. I looked over at Twilight after receiving confirmation from everyone else and smiled. Everyone will be here in about a half an hour, I told her. Cool. She smiled and laid back down. My friends got here one by one. First Rainbow, then Fluttershy, then Applejack and Rarity got here last.
When Rarity and I got to Pinkie's, everyone else was already there. I opened the door and Rarity walked in. Thanks, darling, she said. I knew she called everyone darling, but it felt nice to hear her call me that. This crush on Rarity is not going to be easy to move on from. Fuck my life. No problem, Sugar Cube, I smiled, and then walked in after her. I saw Twilight sitting on the sofa on her phone. She looked up and smiled.
Hey, you're here. I came down to wait for you. Everyone else is upstairs. Let's go.
We followed Twilight as she led us up the stairs to Pinkie's room. We all settled down and started playing Truth or Dare. Pinkie went first.
Yo, Flutters, Truth or Dare? Truth?
She said nervously.
So what's up with the Fluttershy date life? You have anyone you want to get close to?
Pinkie asked with a frown. We all knew Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash had huge crushes on each other. They were both scared to admit it, though.
Maybe, but I'm not really comfortable saying right now,
she said, and she snuggled closer to Dash. Dash blushed, Fluttershy blushed. They still won't talk about how much they like each other. A few turns had gone by before it became my turn. "Pinkie Pie, truth or dare?"
"Truth!"
she exclaimed. I got up and walked to her closet. I pulled out a fluffy yellow dress that looked like it belonged in the Revolutionary times. "What is this, darling?" Pinkie perked up.
"Oh, that's my dress for the school musical. We're doing Hamilton this fall, and I'm Peggy Schuyler. I'm super pumped."
"Oh, in this dress. Delightful," I said. "What can I do? I don't like the dress." A few turns went by until it got around to Rainbow Dash. She was waiting for this, and was totally prepared for whatever answer she got.
"Applejack, truth or dare?"
Applejack sighed. "This is the dumbest thing I'll ever do. Dare, Rainbow Dash." Dash gave an evil grin and chuckled a little, as if she had won a game of chess against a master.
"I dare you to kiss Rarity on the lips, 5 seconds minimum."
Oh, fuck. I started breathing heavily and stared at AJ. On the one hand, I wanted her to refuse. What if this shows her that I'm into her? On the other hand, I was practically praying for her to do it. AJ sat still for a few seconds, then shrugged. That was the last thing I saw. I felt her grab my back and dip me down. I felt her lips touch mine. I felt her hand run through my hair. I felt the warmth of her body against mine. It felt like nothing could go wrong. I felt at peace. I felt in love. And then 5 seconds were up. I lifted my head to see my hair in a mess with the other four staring with wide eyes. Rainbow Dash was clapping. We were both blushing extremely hard. "Rarity? Truth or dare?" I hear. "Dare," I muttered dreamily, still reeling from the kiss. "Kiss me again." Chapter 4. This is technically pillow talk, right? How the hell am I supposed to sleep after tonight? I looked around the room. Pinkie and Twilight had fallen asleep cuddling each other. Fluttershy and Dashy were slumped against the wall together, with Rainbow's head laying on Shy's shoulder. Then there was Applejack and I, right next to each other, not touching at all. I could still taste her lips, still smell the sweet scent of ripe apples, still feel the sensation of her hands running through my purple hair. I loved it. I loved her. I wanted more. I tossed and turned while thinking, unable to sleep, but not wanting to move for fear of anyone else waking. Eventually, I quietly groaned and pulled my pajama pants up a bit. They had fallen a bit in the midst of my rolling around. "Sugar Cube? Maybe here isn't the best place to do that?" I heard AJ's sweet southern voice softly whispering to me. "Pull my pants up?" I questioned. That's what you were doing," she stammered. I looked over at her. The moonlight spilled onto her face, illuminating her blonde hair and turning into a silver stream. She was blushing furiously. I returned the favor and blushed myself. "Oh, you thought I was... Oh, no, not me, not my kind of thing." "Oh, yes, right, of course," she muttered. "Good night, Rayers." Hey, Applejack, can I ask you something?" I bit my lip in anticipation. Here it goes. All or nothing. "Sure, Sugar Cube, what is it?" She rolled over to look at me. Her large emerald eyes stared into my soul. Fuck. This is harder than the TV makes it seem. "Okay, Applejack. Whew. Here we go. So, I may have a slight crush on you," I stammered. "What?" she asks. All my hope disappears. But I've got myself into this. I plan to lay it all out there. I have a crush on you. A huge crush, actually. I lied about it being slight. I thought that I could ignore it, that I could hide it. I guess it was more obvious than I thought, though, because Rainbow Dash seemed to know about it. When you kissed me, I don't know. I knew I wanted to date you before, but That was the first time I felt like there was a chance you wanted to date me back. I sighed. It was all off my chest. Television teaches us that we should be relieved after confessing this, but honestly, I'm more anxious now than I was before. Applejack paused for a while. I gave up and rolled over. I knew I didn't have a chance. Yes. I turned so fast that I physically felt my head hurt. What? What did you say? I was near tears. I like you too. I have for a while. I can't believe that you feel the same. Oh my God, I was so worried. You're so much braver than me. I never would have had the guts to tell you. I'm so happy. Applejack looked at me as though I had just told her she had won the lottery. I felt like I had won the lottery. I gave AJ a hug and whispered a quick goodnight before finally drifting off to sleep. I didn't dream that night, but that's okay. No dream would be better than the reality of what just happened.